Hi, Juan.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Very good. How was work today?
It was good.
Good. Very
It was.
good.
Thank you.
hmm
Thanks for asking.
Yeah. All right. Let me open up. We were on job interviews. We were on slide 12. Let's look at this. Okay. So we have our vocabulary practice, and I think we did strength. We did weakness and
Mm-hmm.
strength before, but we need to do experience, career ladder, and interview. So we're going to try to make a sentence with each of these words.
Strength.
Uh-huh. So we already did strength yesterday, but if you want to do that again, you can as well too. hmm
Mm, my strengths.
hmm
Uh, Sorry, I'm not concentrated.
You're okay. Are you okay? Do you want class today or um how are you
Yeah,
feeling? Okay. Uh-huh.
could you help me with the example, please? With the strength, just the first one.
Okay, well, strength we did that yesterday. We did weakness and strength yesterday, and you had said your strengths were coding, right? You like coding. You have a
Okay.
passion for it, and you enjoy it. So that's a strength, right? So we don't need to do strength again because we already did it. So now we'll be on experience. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have no.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I haven't worked. No. What is the sentence when you need to talk about your experience? My experience in this field
Mm-hmm.
is almost for 7 years, something like that.
My experience in this field is 7 it has been for 7 years, but you would say I have had 7 years of experience. I have had 7 years of experience.
I have had.
Mhm. 7 years of experience in this field. Mhm.
Okay, I've had 7 years of experience in this field.
Mhm.
Mhm. Career ladder.
Ca-
Ladder is
Career ladder is that
career.
it's kind of literal, right? A ladder is a tool that we use to climb up, like we use a ladder to paint, we use a ladder to get to the roof. Ladders are kind of like they're not stairs, but it's something that you climb up,
Mm-hmm.
right? Usually used to paint or maybe reach the light bulb to change it, right? I'll show you a ladder. But career ladder is more of starting at the bottom position
Mm-hmm.
and then going up to like more corporate positions like CEO, maybe the boss, manager. So this is an actual ladder. But in this sense, career ladder just means what position you're in. Are you on like the lower, entry level employee, or are you a boss? Are you a manager? Are you the CEO type of thing? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I started, or how do you say, my career ladder.
This is more
Or
so
I started like a junior tester,
uh-huh.
and I worked like a developer junior,
mhm.
and after or now I'm working like a senior tester.
So you're climbing the ladder. You could say, I've climbed the career ladder in my job because at first I was in this position and now I am here, right?
Okay.
It's kind of like a description on where you are. So you could say, you want to kind of describe it as if you're climbing it, right? So you could say,
Climb.
I have climbed, I have climbed the
I
career.
have
Uh-huh.
or I have.
I have climbed the career ladder in my job or my work, right? My job. And then you could say I was in this
Okay, I have
position,
time
entry
for it.
position, and now, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
No, no, no. I
Uh-huh.
didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Um, I was saying, yeah, you can begin with that and then like kind of describe what you did. You started at a lower position and then became into like another
Until my
higher
my
position.
current position.
Exactly. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, now we have interview.
Interview.
Mhm.
¿Cómo puedo hacer una oración con interview?
I had an interview last year. It went really well, and now I'm in my dream job. Or tomorrow I will have an interview with a new position. I hope I get it.
Okay.
Or I'm preparing for an interview next month, and I need to research about the company, right?
Okay.
hmm
¿Necesito decirlo?
Yeah, if you want, if you don't want to, we can skip it.
Okay.
hmm
I will prepare myself for my next interview with uh, the enough information for the questions.
So I will prepare for an interview. When is the interview?
Ah,
Next week? Or next week,
for the
maybe?
next, yeah.
Next week.
How you say the last time? It's just a hypothetical
Hypothetical. Uh-huh.
hypothetical
Mhm.
situation.
Exactly. All of these, when you make up a sentence, it's just to show that you know the meaning of the word and that you can use it, right? It doesn't have to be a real situation. It's just you trying to use the word in the correct context.
Mhm.
Very
Okay.
good. Excellent. Okay, let's look at technical and social skills. Can you read this?
Having the technical skills required for the job and adequate work experience is a large part of getting an interview. But once,
Once.
but
Mhm.
once at the interview, it's important to show your social skills.
Social skills. Very good. Let's say this word again, adequate.
Adequate.
Mhm.
Adequate.
Adequate. Mhm.
Okay.
It's like
What
sufficient. Mhm.
Okay. What are some things you should do during a job interview? How about things you shouldn't do?
Mhm.
Mm, it's like the last question. There are like the last question. I remember some question like this.
Okay. So what then you know the answer. So what are some things you should do during a job interview?
Hmm. A good posture.
Good posture. Good.
Hmm. Um, I don't remember the word or the phrase, but you need to listen to the interviewer.
Mhm.
But
You could say
how,
be
what
attentive. Attentive's
attentive?
another word for listen, but listen's fine.
Mhm.
You can use listen. Mhm.
Okay. What are some things you should do during a job? You need to be unsure when you are talking about some topic.
Mhm. You
Hmm.
do your research, you need to know about the business, you need to know about what position you want and the roles that you need to do. Yeah, you have to do a lot of research, right? So you look like you're well informed. But you shouldn't things that you shouldn't do, maybe show up with clothes that aren't appropriate, maybe not make eye contact with the interviewer. be on your phone, right? These are just standard things you shouldn't
Mhm.
do in an interview. Very good. Okay, let's look at number 2.
What do you think are the 5 most common questions asked at a job interview?
Mhm.
Okay. Mm, talking about social skills.
Talking about what? Mhm.
Talking about social skills.
No, this is just this is what do you think 5 most common questions that you would have in a job interview? Like for example, a common one is can you tell me more about yourself, right? That's a very common
Sí.
um question. Maybe giving a scenario and saying how would you handle this, right? How would you handle this situation? That's usually a pretty common. What are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? Um, what do you have to add to the team? What do you think is important to do in the position, right? There's common questions that are usually no matter the position, they're probably going to ask you that. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we could skip that one. Let's go to number
No.
3. Uh-huh.
Question is like you said.
Mhm.
Tell me more about you.
Mhm.
You said that. Why do you want to work here?
Mhm.
Or what
Exactly.
are you looking in this job?
Mhm.
Uh, how? Yeah. Where do you see yourself in some years, 5 or 10 years?
Exactly. That's a very common question, right?
And
Mhm.
I think the most important is why should we hire you?
Exactly, right? Those are very common standard job interview questions. Very good. Excellent. All right, let's look at that last one.
Do you follow up with the company after an interview or wait for them to contact you? Why?
Mhm.
Do you follow up with the company? What's mean? Do you follow up with?
So follow up is usually like sending a letter, sending an email, calling.
Okay.
I personally always send an email after the interview, not asking about the the my job result, but saying thank you for having me. Thank you for your time. I really enjoyed meeting you. Something like that.
Usually I wait the answer or an answer, usually.
Mhm.
But when I got my first job, I sent some emails asking for their resolution.
Okay. What do you mean? Or like their answer or
Yeah, their answer.
yeah, very good. But a follow-up too can mean you don't necessarily have to ask the person for an answer, right? Like a standard practice usually after you do an interview with someone, the most polite thing it used to be send a letter, right?
Yeah.
But now they like for you to send an email just expressing your gratitude for taking the time to interview you.
Thanks
Have you
for the
ever done that?
interview.
Hmm.
Yeah, thanks for the interview. I I will I will pending.
Not pen. Can you extend that a little bit more? What do you want to
Ok,
say?
es
Hmm.
como estaré al pendiente de alguna duda o comentario.
Pending. It's you can't really say I will pend. It doesn't really sound right. I will wait. Maybe I will wait for
I will wait
your
for your
response or your answer.
comments,
Hmm.
comments or dots.
Uh-huh. Exactly. Uh-huh. Super. Yeah, you could say that. I will wait for
Mhm.
your comments or doubts, but yeah, usually it's just like a thank you for your time. eagerly waiting for your answer or something like that, is always like a nice gesture to do with a boss or something like that. It helps keep your name in their head usually. Very
Okay.
good. Excellent. Okay, let's look at this next one. We have our grammar review with verb tenses. Can you read this part one?
Okay. Where is my glass? No. Where
Oh,
are
is
my
it
glasses?
too small? Is it too small? I can
No, no,
read
no.
it.
I can read it.
Are you sure?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. During a job interview, you need to use a mix of verb tenses depending on the time frame you are talking about. Review the examples below, then practice creating a sentence about your work using each tense.
Very
Yeah.
good. Okay, let's look at the first one. Mhm.
Okay. Could you help me with the first one, please?
Uh, you want me to read it or
Uh-huh. Could you help me?
yeah. Can you instead of saying help, can you read it?
Can
Uh-huh.
you read it?
Cuz
Okay.
help would be like pronunciation or something like that. But if you want someone
Good.
to do yeah, it would be
Okay.
read. So use simple present tense, present continuous to talk about something that is happening now or at the moment. So the example, I am looking for an opportunity to achieve my professional goals. So simple present continuous is the verb to be with a verb with ing. Mhm.
Okay. The next time
Uh-huh.
I will use this.
Oh, okay. It's okay. Yeah, don't worry. I can read it for you. Yeah, it's just good practice. I like my students to read the slides because it's really good practice for them with pronunciation and their reading skills. That's the only reason why I usually
Okay.
have do it.
If I say to read loudly, is it okay or is a past sentence? It's wrong.
I'll say
Como
it
leer
again.
en voz alta. How do you
How
say leer en voz alta? It's a good practice or it's a good way if you want to practice your pronunciation or your reading, your speaking,
to read out loud. Read out
to read
loud?
out loud.
Mhm.
To read out loud. Okay.
Uh-huh. To read out loud. Uh-huh. Exactly. Mhm.
Mhm.
Very good. Okay, I'll read the next one. We have our simple past tense to talk about actions that finished in the past. For example, I began my career in the retail industry. And then we have our present perfect tense to talk about actions started in the past and continue in the present. So, for example, I have been a successful manager since 2011. So, these are all the different tenses. We have present continuous, simple past, and present perfect tense. So, these are just
Okay.
examples.
I will try
Uh-huh.
to read it again.
Oh,
Okay.
you're going to read it. Okay. Do
Okay.
you.
Use simple present continuous
Mhm.
to talk about something that is happening now or at the moment, like swimming or looking. No, example, I'm looking for an opportunity to achieve my professional goals.
Mhm.
Okay. Use simple tense. I have a lot of problems with the tenses.
That's normal. That's very normal in learning a language. Yeah. That's
Use
normal.
use simple past tense to talk about actions that finished in the past. Okay. Example, I began or I began I began my career in the retail industry.
Good.
Okay. Use present perfect tense to talk about action started in the past and continue in the present. I have been successful,
A successful. Mhm.
successful. I have been successful
A
manager,
oh, so you're missing this article. So I have been a successful
a
manager. Mhm.
successful manager since 20, how do you say this? 2011 or 20?
You,
20,000?
you say
10,000?
2011.
2011. Ah, sí, 2011. Ay, ¿qué estaba
Mm-hmm.
viendo?
Yeah, 2011. That's good. That's okay. All right. Let's see our next one. So this is a role play. I know last time you didn't want to do the role play. Would you want to try it or skip it?
Mm, but now I am the interviewer.
Mm-hmm. So,
Are you agree?
what do you mean? Wait, what did you say? I'm
I
sorry.
am now in this case, or I want the interviewer role.
Okay, so it says imagine you are interviewing for a job. So you're the interviewee. You can choose the job you have now, or a job you applied to recently, or a dream job. Tell your teacher a little about the position, and then your teacher will interview you. So it's just we would be role playing an interview, but you don't have to do it if you don't want to. A lot of my students like to skip this, but it's up to you what you would like to do.
My choice. No, I mean, I want to. What is the word for the both people, person or personal people? The interviewer and y el entrevistado. How do you say that?
So you have the interviewer, like the boss, the person that needs an employee, and then you have the interviewee.
Interviewee.
The person who's being interviewed. Mhm. Mhm.
Interview. Ah, I didn't know.
Mhm.
Okay, I want to. I want to be. Is it okay? I want to be the interviewer. So I
Okay.
want to say the questions.
Oh, but that's not gonna be good practice for you, though, because that's easy. All the
But
questions are here.
no, I want to listen to you.
Okay, yeah, I guess we could do that,
I want to
yeah.
your answers.
Okay,
Así puedo
okay,
saber cómo puedo responder en el futuro con este tipo
yeah.
de.
Okay, you can do that,
Okay,
alright, so
but
start. You're the
you're
interviewer.
not uncomfortable.
No, I mean, it's fine, I'll just make it up. I'll just try to do my
Okay.
best ability to as it. Yeah.
Uh, it's an
Mhm,
interview. It's an interview for a hmm
mhm.
for English teacher.
Okay,
Okay, tell me about yourself.
Well, I was born and raised in Tallahassee, Florida, and at a young age, I really sparked interest in teaching. I always had helped my friends with homework and helped them with extra activities. I saw myself as a good leader, and when I got older, I decided to start coaching synchronized swimming. And with that, I realized that I really enjoy instructing and teaching people. So then I pursued getting a job in teaching in English, and now I'm here.
Okay.
Mhm.
um. Oh, this is weird. Uh,
Uh-huh.
what interests you about this role? And what do you want, or no? In el mejor el otro, no. Why do you want this job?
I would like this job because I have a strong passion for teaching languages, especially English. Um, I think it's important for people to know more than one language, and it's a great skill to know and to share with other people.
Okay. What are your strengths?
My strengths are being motivated and passionate about learning. I really like student involvement. I like to laugh with my students, and I really enjoy learning about my students' culture and their life. Mhm.
What about your weaknesses?
My weakness would be passion because sometimes I tend to overextend myself, but I've been practicing more boundaries with keeping my passion, but also putting time in that I know I can put my full potential into.
Okay. They said, tell me about a time you disagreed with a decision. What did you do? In my case.
Uh, so if I disagree with a decision, I like to collaborate. I don't like to just say I don't like that or I disagree with it. I like to ask questions, get curious about why I'm disagreeing with it, and maybe have a discussion with the other person to come to a compromise and make a better decision for both of us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Why do you want to leave your current job?
I feel like I have really grown in my current job, and I've kind of past the point of learning, and I'd like to grow my opportunities and learn more in a higher position.
Okay. I remember your last
Uh-huh.
job. It was
Mhm.
like a cooker.
Oh, a
No, ¿cómo se
chef?
dice?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It was a chef.
Or a
¿Cómo
line
se
cook?
dice
Uh-huh.
cocinero? Cook. Just cook.
You could say cook, chef, line
Cook.
line
Yeah.
cook, line
Cookman.
cook.
Cookwoman.
No, chef, it's just a cook. They're
Okay.
gender it's gender neutral. Usually English, yeah, it's not like Spanish where you have genders. So you could just say cook. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no like
We will
gender
call you
on.
when we have when we. How is it? ¿Cuál es qué tipo de
Uh-huh.
respuesta te dan? We will call you when we
Mhm.
will have a decision or a
Yeah, exactly. When we have come to our decision, we will contact you. Contact is probably the best. Contact you because
contact.
contact you means not just call, it could be call, email, something like that, right? Or maybe a letter. I don't know. Not many people use mailing systems anymore, but did that give you a good idea, Juan, on how to respond in English? You just always want to make it positive, even if it's kind of like a negative ask like weakness type of thing or disagreement. You always kind of want to make yourself look like really positive, really open to compromise or communicating, right? So, my best suggestion would just be try to be the most positive and open version of yourself, right? You always want to be you want to make yourself look really good, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a did that help with how to answer these, or how did you feel with
Um,
this?
maybe in the next class,
Mhm.
I will think about my answers.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Oh no,
I
I was just saying we don't have to do this, but I was asking did my answers or my responses help you with a good idea
well,
on
it
okay.
it helped
Okay.
me.
Good. Okay, that's all I wanted to know. We don't have to if you don't want to do this, you never have to do any sort of
No,
role play
no,
if
no,
you don't
no.
want to. Mhm.
I like this kind of question, but can you send me this list of questions
Mhm.
because
And you
I can't use my smartphone.
Yeah, and, Cambly has a I'll send you this lesson too, and you can look over all the questions, right?
Okay.
In the library, you can see these slides are available to you too, so I'll send you that. So we're almost done, like, we finished this
Question.
lesson.
I have a question. Have you ever been rudely rejected in an interview before?
No, I have not.
No?
I have not. Have you?
Uh, when I was younger,
Mhm.
yeah, because I was looking for a job and they just told me no.
Oh, really? Right there on the spot?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
I-
when you're young too, people are kind of can be rude. or older, right? There's like some ageism with that.
Maybe you are not prepared for
Prepared.
prepared for this kind of questions or
Yeah.
this response. No, it's a little hard.